Hey there, paranormal enthusiasts. Today, we're diving into the eerie world of haunted dolls. These aren't your average playthings, guys. We're talking about vessels, conduits for something dark and sinister from the other side. These are the stories that keep you up at night. Do you believe in the supernatural? Well, get ready to be spooked as we uncover the chilling stories of 5 haunted dolls that actually came to life. These are the cases that get under your skin, that make you question everything you thought you knew about the line between the living and the dead. This isn't some Hollywood horror flick, guys. This is real. We're starting with the infamous Annabelle. This Raggedy Ann doll locked away in a glass case in the Warrens Occult Museum is the real deal. She's not just some creepy doll, she's a conduit, a beacon for something truly evil. We've all seen the movies, but let me tell you, nothing compares to standing in that room, feeling the air grow heavy, the temperature drop as you get closer to her case. Legend has it that Annabelle was once a child's toy, but something wicked latched onto it, twisting its innocence into something menacing. The stories of Annabelle moving on her own, leaving cryptic messages, even attacking people. They're not just campfire stories. People, skeptics, investigators, they've all felt the oppressive energy radiating from this doll. I've been face to face with evil before, and let me tell you, Annabelle's got that same darkness, that same hunger. You can feel it in your gut, this overwhelming sense of dread. It's not just about the doll itself, it's what it represents, what it attracts. It's a portal, a doorway to something we don't fully understand, and trust me, you don't want to. The Warrens, Ed and Lorraine, they knew how dangerous Annabelle was. They kept her locked up tight, not to contain the doll itself, but to contain the evil it harbors. They knew that some things are best left undisturbed, locked away from the world. But the stories persist. People claim to feel her eyes following them, even through photos. They say she can still influence the world outside her case, whispering to the darkness, drawing it closer. This isn't just about a haunted doll, guys. It's about the thin veil that separates our world from something more sinister, something that we can't comprehend. It's a reminder that there are forces at play beyond our understanding, and sometimes they like to play with dolls. Next up, we're heading down to Key West, Florida, home of Robert the Doll. Now, this sailor-suited doll might look harmless at first glance, but don't let that fool you. Robert has a reputation, a dark one, and it's well earned. He sits there in his glass case at the Fort East Martello Museum, staring out with those piercing black eyes, and you can feel it, the weight of his gaze. He was a gift to a young boy, Robert Eugene Otto, back in 1906. Now, the stories say that Robert, the boy, not the doll, claimed the doll would move around, talk back, even cause mischief. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe something more sinister was at play. Over the years, the stories about Robert the doll have only gotten darker. People claim to have seen him move, his expression changing from childlike innocence to something cold and menacing. There are stories of bad luck, accidents, even illnesses befalling those who dared to disrespect Robert. Visitors to the museum often leave him gifts, offerings to appease whatever entity might be residing within that doll. They write him letters asking for forgiveness, hoping to avoid his wrath. It's a strange sight to see, but it shows you the power this doll holds, the fear he instills. I've been in the presence of some creepy things, but there's something about Robert that's unsettling. Something in those eyes. It's like he's watching you, judging you, deciding your fate. Some dismiss it as superstition, but I've seen enough to know that there are forces at work in this world that we can't explain. And sometimes those forces choose to make their presence known through objects like Robert the doll. So if you ever find yourself in Key West, go ahead, visit Robert. But be warned, show some respect. You never know what might happen if you don't. Our next stop takes us to the Quesnel Museum in British Columbia, Canada, home to Mandy the doll. Now, unlike some of the other dolls on our list, Mandy's origins are shrouded in mystery, which only adds to her unsettling aura. She's this antique porcelain doll, her face frozen in a disconcerting frown, her eyes seeming to follow you as you move. It's enough to send shivers down your spine. No one knows for sure where Mandy came from or what dark secrets she holds, but the stories, the whispers, they paint a chilling picture. She was donated to the museum back in 1991, and let me tell you, the staff knew right away that something wasn't right with this doll. They say she moved around on her own, her facial expressions changing, her porcelain skin cold to the touch. Visitors reported feeling uneasy around Mandy, a sense of dread washing over them. Some even claimed to hear faint whispers coming from her display case or to see her eyes blink. Now I've heard it all, but let me tell you, the stories about Mandy, they stick with you. There's something about the unknown that's particularly terrifying. With Annabelle, with Robert, we have some idea, some story, some legend. But with Mandy, it's a blank slate, a canvas for our deepest fears to paint themselves onto. The museum staff, they keep her in her own special case, away from the other artifacts. Some say it's for her protection, others say it's to protect us. Whatever the reason, it's clear that Mandy is no ordinary doll. She's a conduit, a vessel for something ancient and unknowable, something that we can only glimpse at through the shadows in her eyes. Get ready for this one, because we're diving into the story of Pupa the doll, a story that's as heartbreaking as it is terrifying. This Italian doll, with her piercing blue eyes and unsettlingly lifelike features, is said to be possessed by the spirit of a young girl who died tragically while playing with her. Now, I've investigated my fair share of haunted objects, but there's something about Pupa that gets under your skin, something in her eyes that seems to hold the weight of a lost soul. The story goes that Pupa was given to a young girl in Italy back in the 1920s. The girl, she loved that doll, treated it like her best friend, her confidant, but then tragedy struck. The girl died unexpectedly, and legend has it that her spirit became attached to Pupa, unable to move on from the world of the living. Now, Pupa is encased in glass, but that hasn't stopped the strange occurrences. People who have come into contact with the doll report feeling a cold spot near her, a sudden drop in temperature. Some even claim to hear faint giggling, like a child playing, or soft sobs, like a child mourning. Witnesses have reported seeing Pupa's expression change. Her once innocent smile twisting into a grimace, her eyes welling up with tears. And then there are the stories of her moving, her tiny porcelain hands reaching out from behind the glass as if searching for someone, something. It's a tragic story, one that speaks to the power of love, the pain of loss, and the unsettling possibility that our spirits can linger long after we're gone. Pupa is a reminder that even the most innocent of objects can become vessels for the supernatural, and that sometimes the spirits that haunt us are not there to harm us, but to seek solace, to reconnect with a world they've left behind. Hold on tight, because our final stop takes us deep into the heart of Joliet, Illinois, where a malevolent entity is said to reside within an unassuming antique doll named Joliet. This isn't just some spooky story. This doll has a dark reputation. She's locked away now, hidden from the world, but the stories persist. Legend has it that Joliet was given as a gift to a young woman by her jealous best friend. Sounds like something straight out of a horror movie, right? Well, it gets worse. The woman ended up pregnant, but her joy was short-lived. The baby tragically died shortly after birth. The woman was convinced that the doll was to blame, that her friend had cursed it. She claimed the doll would move around on its own, its eyes glowing red in the darkness. She said she could hear evil whispers coming from the doll, taunting her. Driven by grief and terror, she got rid of the doll, but the stories didn't end there. Joliet resurfaced years later, passed from owner to owner, each experiencing strange occurrences. Objects moving on their own, shadows dancing, the feeling of being watched. It's said that Joliet feeds off negativity, off pain and suffering. She's a conduit for darkness, a beacon for malevolent entities. The stories of Joliet chill me to the bone, a reminder that evil can take many forms, even a doll. So there you have it, 5 haunted dolls that actually came to life. These are just a few of the countless stories out there about objects imbued with something beyond our understanding. Something that sends chills down our spines and makes us question everything we thought we knew. What do you think of haunted dolls? Have you ever had a paranormal experience with a toy? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's keep this conversation going, because the more we share, the more we learn, and the more prepared we are to face the unknown. Don't forget to subscribe for more eerie content and check out our other videos exploring paranormal phenomena. Stay spooky, and until next time, remember to keep an eye out for any dolls that may have a life of their own. You never know what might be lurking in the shadows.